This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Winnipeg has already seen 12 fire-related deaths in the first 5 months of 2026. It's a tragic and concerning number. One fire official says is being driven by poverty and substance abuse. As the CBC's Santiago Arias Orozco reports, preventing future fatalities means addressing some of the city's most troubling problems.
First responders in Winnipeg are worried about the number of people dying in fires. Most recently, a 44-year-old woman passed away in this Manitoba housing complex.
I'm really concerned.
This resident says conditions in the building are increasing the risk of fires. We're concealing her identity because she fears repercussions for speaking up. She's been living in the building for 6 years, and since now there's more garbage in hallways, people squatting, and open drug use.
Nobody used to bother me. It was just now there's people coming, starting fires.
At least 12 people in Winnipeg have died in fires so far this year, the number concerning for the city's fire and paramedic service. Criminal activity was involved in some fatal fires, but firefighters say deaths are increasingly related to mental health and substance abuse.
A lot of this is people using different pieces of equipment or using drugs in a way that puts them at risk and causes fires, and they are not in a condition to respond appropriately to escape from the fire.
Wilkinson says homelessness and poverty are also driving the number of deaths, either because people are buying cheaper damaged appliances, using unsafe heating practices, or simply more worried about their basic needs before fire prevention.
A lot of this is outside our control, and we need to put our efforts into community risk reduction and managing the issues that we see on the street today, which are extremely tragic.
But the union representing firefighters says they need more staff. Resources are a stretched thing, response times are delayed, and every second matters to save someone from a fire.
These aren't just statistics on the page, right? Their lives lost in fire, their families awakened by unimaginable loss.
The union says they need more public education officers, prevention crews, and investigators to anticipate fire risk and address it. That recommendation was made to the city in 2020. The union said it's yet to be fulfilled.
This was predicted and it was preventable, and it's been in action on the part of the city.
A spokesperson for the mayor's office says 44 full-time firefighter positions have been added over the last 2 years. The city is also planning to study the creation of an emergency service dedicated to mental health calls. Both hope to alleviate pressures of first responders and save more lives. Santiago Arias Orozco, CBC News, Winnipeg.
A First Nations family wants answers after a 9-year-old girl died days after breaking her arm. It happened in March, northeast of Dauphin in Ochichak-Wozibi First Nation. As CBC's Josh Crabb reports, the young girl's family says they raised concerns about her condition prior to her death.
Family members wore purple because it was Mary Jeanette Miley Bull Sinclair's favorite color. They came to Winnipeg from Ochichak-Osipi First Nation because they want to know how the 9-year-old girl died. Her uncle, Burton Flett, says his niece was a fancy shawl dancer and a jingle dress dancer.
Jingle dress dancers are healers. Our family needs healing now as Mary's passing has caused us so much pain.
He says Bull Sinclair died March 21st, 5 days after suffering an arm injury while tobogganing in the Western Manitoba First Nation with her siblings.
Never did we think this activity would end in tragedy.
He says Bull Sinclair was taken by ambulance to Dauphin Regional Health Centre, where she was diagnosed with a broken arm.
The nurse put a sling on Mary's arm. No doctor examined Mary during this visit on March 16th. There was no discussion of a cast, even though Mary's mom asked about casting the arm.
He says his niece was sent home with no care plan. Prairie Mountain Health would not comment on the family's concerns. Flett says Bull Sinclair was in a lot of pain in the following days, and on March 19th, an ambulance was called and she was taken back to the hospital in Dauphin. Her uncle says she was given a new sling, Tylenol, and Advil, but no blood work was done before she was sent home again the following day, still in pain. The next day, Flett says Bull Sinclair's mom noticed something seriously wrong.
This is when she cried out for help as She noticed Mary's fingers were turning purple and fluid was coming out of her mouth and her nose. An ambulance was called for Mary, but it was too late.
A statement from Health Minister Uzoma Asaguera's office says an in-depth autopsy is being conducted and the RCMP is investigating the circumstances surrounding Bull Sinclair's death. The Mounties could not immediately be reached for comment, and it is unclear why they are investigating. Grand Chief Jerry Daniels says the Southern Chiefs organization is supporting the family's call for answers.
No family should have to experience the loss of a child. No family should be left carrying unanswered questions.
The minister's office says right now it's too soon to comment on the specific circumstances of Bull Sinclair's death, and they won't speculate on what happened. Josh Crabb, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Police are investigating the death of a 32-year-old man who was found outside a home in the Dufferin area of the city. Officers responded to a well-being call at a home on Stella Avenue around 8 a.m. Saturday. A 32-year-old man was found dead outside the house. The victim has been identified as Jamie Asham from Peguis First Nation. Asham had been living in Winnipeg. Police have not yet deemed his death a homicide, but they say it is considered suspicious. A Steinbach woman denied medical assistance in dying or MAID has taken matters into her own hands. The 94-year-old is bedridden and is now refusing to take her medication in hopes of speeding up her own death. She says her choice and dignity is being taken away, and a national pro-choice group is taking up her cause. CBC's Christopher Garreau reports.
When Marion Penner was refused medical assistance in dying, or MAID, she donated her piano to Steinbach's Bethesda Hospital. The 94-year-old suffers from multiple ailments, but looked forward to being wheeled to the new wing and playing a tune. Then in mid-May, Penner was sent to the hospital in Vida, 55 kilometers away.
Suddenly I found out that I was moving to a totally different facility, one I was totally unfamiliar with. And it all felt very strange, like I was just a piece in a game. Let's put you here, no, we'll put you there.
Her first wish still is to get MAID, but after being told it would take a long time to find specialists needed for another application, Penner has stopped taking her heart medication and antibiotics.
Just let nature do its thing and see what happens. And we have discussed this as a family. We're all in agreement on it. So that's just what seemed logical.
Penner had trouble finding a doctor who would help with the MAID application. That's why the Abortion Rights Coalition of Canada took on Penner's cause. It says the province needs to appeal a 2017 MAID Act so that doctors must inform patients who want it.
Patients like Marion are kind of trapped by this law. Not only can doctors refuse to help, they don't have to give her any assistance at all, no information, no referral, basically just abandoning the patient.
Health Minister Uzoma Asaguera's office said the law remains in place and that Manitobans can access information about MAID and request connection to the provincial MAID program through shared health. A patient needs to be assessed by 2 doctors or nurse practitioners to see if they qualify. In Canada, more than 2,200 medical practitioners signed up to do that. There are 20 in Manitoba. Only 3 work outside Winnipeg. And Manitoba assesses the fewest patients per capita and denies assisted dying requests at 5 times the national rate. Penner says she's now on an 18-month wait list for a care home.
But on the other hand, well, I'm still alive. Well, I still know where do they put people like me next. I hope they find a place.
Christopher Garreau, CBC News, Vida.
All right, well, the weather story of the weekend was that hot heat, and it was another similar day out there today. Colette Kennedy in now for your look at what's to come. Colette.
Thanks, Brittany. Well, you know, when we get into a weather pattern like this, I know it can be a little bit oppressive. It can be dangerous in some cases, but it can also make for a pretty nice weekend when it comes to some of the readings, you know, into the 30s. Yesterday, pretty mild again today, especially when you're starting off with temperatures that look like this. So it's really comfortable, but for getting outside, if you do want it just to be feeling a little better, those are the times in the early morning hours when you can really kind of jump out there and enjoy it a little bit. We do have some breaks in the weather pattern, and I'm going to get into all of that and also some of the severe weather. But for the yellow level heat warning, still in place, but it's shifted, of course, to the north of us. So central parts of the province and northward, you do still have that in place. Otherwise, for Winnipeg tonight, partly cloudy to mostly clear skies. How about tomorrow morning? Again, comfortable to start off. Sun-cloud mix, 18 degrees. And then into the afternoon, we do have another thunderstorm risk tomorrow and a greater chance of some severe weather. So I'll get into more of that coming up.
All right, thanks, Colette. All right, still time to get outside, but a case of the measles in Manitoba have been on the rise. Now, the province is trying to speak directly to people in those hardest hit areas about getting vaccinated. We'll have that story after the break. Stay with us. Manitoba is ramping up efforts to control measles by connecting with people in the province's hardest hit areas. People in Southern Health will be invited this week to a telephone town hall. As the CBC's Ian Fraze tells us, the province says it's about direct outreach in communities.
If you've got questions about measles and live in southern Manitoba, you might get to ask them directly.
Maybe some of those questions that they've been sitting with for a while, but just haven't known where to pose those questions and get information they can trust.
Wednesday's telephone town hall is aimed at Southern Health, the area with the highest concentration of measles cases in Canada. The province is randomly calling residents in advance to invite them.
It's going to really rely on whoever's on the line that is a public health official to be really open to the questions and non-judgmental.
Melissa McKay studies public health communications. She wants those running the town hall to respect vaccine skeptics.
Not just, it's safe, it's effective, we need herd immunity or whatever our main messages usually are around vaccines. It has to be a genuine connection with that person.
The province is also trying to reach people on the road. These ads have run in Winnipeg and elsewhere for 2 months. McKay likes that the ads speak directly to the viewer, but
it also lacks the whole point. You can stop it and then that's it. Well, how? It relies on someone then to go into the caption and read more or follow a link. So they're really missing an opportunity just even in that main message on sort of the image with that overlaid text to say anything about the vaccine.
She says the social media ads suffer from the same one-size-fits-all approach.
I'd be really surprised if they're sort of answering questions within the comments and engaging with people that maybe have more direct questions.
Provincial officials say they're trying to meet people where they are. Past efforts include a vaccine booth at the Royal Manitoba Winter Fair in Brandon. They say more summer outreach plans are still in the works. Ian Fraze, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Future physicians from the University of Manitoba are getting hands-on training in rural hospitals and clinics. It's all part of Rural Week. Souris is one of many communities showcasing the benefits of working and living outside of city centres. CBC's Michelle McDougall shows us how sharing shifts has become a win-win for the doctors in training and the trainers.
There is edema, there's some bruising to the base.
First-year medical student Madison Chisholm gets an update from a nurse in Souris District Hospital, where she's experienced many firsts, including seeing patients in a small-town hospital.
Living in Winnipeg, I really didn't know what it would be like to come and do rural medicine, so I think especially being here for a week and not just a day, we really get placed in the community, get to build relationships with the people we're working with, and really get a sense of what it's like.
One of Chisholm's mentors is Dr. David Cram, a self-proclaimed country doc. He's lived and worked in Souris for more than 4 decades. Cram watched as Chisholm sewed her first stitches, something he says she'll never forget.
To see her first patient, say, with heart failure. Now, the next patient she sees later on in life or in her training, she'll think of, oh, I saw Mrs. Jones in Souris with heart failure, and here's what we did, and here's what we investigated. And to give them that learning is just so helpful.
It's great to see, I guess, what the resources here are and kind of what the doctors are able to do, because they do great work with what they do have here. And that's really what it's all about, is doing what you can for the patients with what you have.
Souris has 5 physicians and 1 nurse practitioner for the clinic, hospital, and personal care home. Dr. Jacob Urey did his rural weekend often and was supposed to take his family medicine residency training in Brandon, but was sent to Souris.
I ended up coming here as kind of a backup, but yeah, I had so much fun on my first rotation. That was kind of an accident that I just kept asking to come back. And yeah, by the end of it, I had so much fun and felt like I fit in so much that I wanted to come here to work full time.
As many rural communities struggle to find doctors, it's hoped the experiences of Rural Week will transplant talent where it's needed most. Michelle McDougall, CBC News, Souris.
People in the Westwood area are no longer being asked to curb their electricity usage. Manitoba Hydro had asked people in the area to reduce their electrical usage during peak times. That included delaying using dishwashers or doing laundry and charging electric cars until after 10 p.m. each evening. It said work was being done on capacity and reliability upgrades at the area's Cavalier substation. Roughly 1,400 customers were impacted over the weekend. The 2026 Food Banks Canada report card gives Manitoba a C-, while adding that shifting labour markets no longer are being served by the country's current employment insurance. The organization says the number of people using food banks is at an all-time high. The report suggests EI eligibility is at the heart of the issue. It says people who work seasonally or multiple jobs or gig or contract work are often not able to qualify for EI. In turn, many workers who face greater income instability are excluded. Harvest Manitoba says it's seeing many people foregoing food to pay rent instead. It says upping EI rates and enhancing rent assist could help. All right, we know it well in Manitoba. Along with the heat often comes storms. So let's bring in Colette Kennedy, who's been keeping an eye out on the potential for that. Colette.
Thanks, Brittany. Yeah, we do have a bit of active weather in the province today, this evening. Not quite what they've been dealing with a few provinces over, with some of those soaking heavy rains and much more to come in Alberta and some very cool temperatures. So a real pattern shift there. For us, looking at tomorrow, all right, that shift comes eastward in terms of the risk being more widespread for some pretty strong thunderstorm cells. And I'm going to take you through this kind of carefully because I want you to be able to plan your day and know what's coming. I was showing you earlier how the yellow level heat warning is still in play if you get towards the north, the Inner Lakes region, and you're looking at Lynn Lake 32, Thompson at 31, some of the afternoon readings, but a little more comfortable, still above seasonal, but further south. Now, here's some of the more soaking rain. Parts of Alberta had over 80 millimeters by this morning, with another, 50 millimeters, in some cases 100 to come, potentially. So just some incredible rainfall there, and those temperatures with many of the readings being in the single digits. Then we have some of this active weather pushing out of our province here and moving into Saskatchewan, and it's along this boundary where, again, tomorrow we'll see some more activity firing up. So I do want you to be aware of what's happening now, but a lot of that energy is actually tracking westward and leaving us. However, let's look at tomorrow. This is 8 a.m. Melita just starting to move in here, pushing towards Brandon area, and that keeps streaming northward towards Dauphin. This is by 3 p.m. However, watch out over towards the Red River Valley, through towards Winnipeg later in the day, 6:30. I've stopped this. The risk of some stronger cells coming through here, some heavy downpours, lightning, gusty winds, the risk of some small hail. So we want to be watching all of this. And of course, there's always that chance, if you do get a severe storm, that we could have some twist or tornadic activity. Then there's still some energy into Wednesday. It does spread northward a little bit further, so you want to be aware of that too. So we've got some active weather coming our way. When it comes to what happens then with the rainfall amounts, yeah, they're going to be a range, because where you get locally one of these thunderstorms, you get the heavier downpours. You know how that works. So we'll watch. We could use some of that moisture. 30, though, again tomorrow, feeling like 34. But then we come down in temperatures for a few days, but a few days only by Saturday and even beyond towards Sunday. But you have to come back for that. The temperatures heat back up again.
All right. Thanks, Colette. Well, here's a lovely and very summery look at the Forks. There's much more to come straight ahead. Stay with us. A 34-year-old man shot dead by police Friday threatened to kill 2 teenage hostages after barricading himself inside their home while trying to get away from officers. That's all according to Manitoba's police watchdog that has taken over the case. Now, the incident unfolded at a home on King Edward Street Friday morning. Police say the man had outstanding warrants, and when officers attempted to arrest him earlier in the day, he rammed his car into the police cruiser and took off. They say minutes later, a man ran from a home in a panic and said someone broke in and took 2 teens inside hostage, threatening to kill them. As police were rescuing them, they say the suspect set the home on fire before he was shot dead. The man's identity has not been released. Some Brandon police officers are now wearing body-worn cameras while on patrol. The rollout is starting with 12 frontline officers, with the goal of having 65 members outfitted by the end of the year. Officers equipped will wear the devices visibly on the front of their uniforms and are required to have them active during public encounters. Police say the cameras will help gather more robust evidence while keeping officers accountable.
Complaints come in that are proven to be frivolous. Now, this will be a positive because we'll be able to look at the camera right away and say, no, this did not happen, or it did happen, now we have to look into it further.
In January, police estimated the cameras would cost around $400,000. For the first time in more than a decade, the number of police officers is up relative to the city's population. For 13 years, the cop-to-population ratio has been on the decline. That's the number of Winnipeg police officers compared to the total population of the city. Now, there are nearly 167 officers for every 100,000 people. That's up slightly from last year. It's the first time that number has gone up since 2013. Previous reports have consistently highlighted the falling number of police officers relative to the city's growing population, increasing strain on resources. The spring sitting of the Manitoba Legislature is wrapping up, with more than 40 government bills slated to get final approval. The bills expected to receive royal assent include several in healthcare, including ones to eliminate mandatory overtime for nurses, establish a minimum nurse-to-patient ratio, and create a patient safety chart.
I would submit to folks pretty progressive, committed legislation for Manitoba citizens, families, seniors, to, take Manitoba to where we want to see our province goes.
Other new laws will ban the use of sick notes for short-term illnesses and put new restrictions on the sale of long-bladed weapons. Tesla Motors Canada has asked Manitoba Court to overturn the NDP government's decision to exclude it from EV rebates in this province. Tesla is asking the courts to set aside an NDP government decision that went into effect last year, after U.S. President Donald Trump began threatening tariffs on Canadian products. In court documents, Tesla says excluding its cars from $4,000 rebates is unfair. It says no other EV company with a U.S. parent was excluded. Tesla also says it's not clear what wing of Manitoba's government made the exclusion and under what authority. The NDP government declined to comment. A child remains in critical condition near Montreal after being blown away in a bouncy castle. Several people were injured in the incident when high wind gusts swept through a community celebration Sunday. Jenna Badoso has the details.
Deflated bouncy castles and loose napkins are all that's left after a party was cut short by a tragic accident.
There must have been like dozens of police cars and ambulances and fire trucks, and it was just a lot of chaos here.
Several people were gathered at Willett Park on Sunday in La Salle. The group was reportedly taking part in an organized church party when heavy winds picked up, reaching close to 50 kilometers per hour. The bouncy castle being used was apparently picked up and thrown down, injuring many.
Table, chairs were flying, people were falling on the floor, and then the balloon, the inflated balloon, that really, I'm so shocked I still have that image in front of me, like flying up in the sky, like at least 30 feet high, and then all of a sudden it dropped on the floor.
Urgence Santé says 11 people were injured, 7 adults and 4 children, including 1 child who was critically injured at the time and taken to the hospital. La Salle Borough Mayor Nancy Blanchet declined all interview requests, but in an online post, she extended her support to those affected by the terrible event. She says the borough will speak to those involved to fully understand the circumstances surrounding the event. She says all necessary measures will be considered based on the findings. Many in the community are still shaken by the event, and questions still remain about how this happened and which safety measures should be taken when weather conditions change unexpectedly. Jenny Badoso, CBC News, La Salle.
It's one of the fastest growing games in Canada, but the organization in charge of cricket in this country is under increasing scrutiny. The sport's international governing body has suspended its membership. It comes after an investigation by the CBC's Fifth Estate put a spotlight on allegations of corruption, financial mismanagement, and match fixing. The CBC's Fifth Estate co-host Stephen D'Souza reports.
There'll be a tad of nerves, there's no question about that. It's a big stage for this team.
From allegations of match fixing at the Cricket World Cup,
Stephen D'Souza from CBC. We have some very serious allegations.
To accusations of corruption and financial mismanagement, Cricket Canada has been in turmoil. Now the sport's governing body, the International Cricket Council, has suspended Cricket Canada's membership due to what it called serious breaches of its obligations.
The financial suspension shows that they've clearly lost any faith that they had in Cricket Canada's ability to manage finances in a non-corrupt and transparent way.
A Fifth Estate investigation in April revealed allegations that organized crime was influencing decisions at the highest levels of Cricket Canada, a claim denied by those accused.
100% that the documentary has brought a lot of these things out into the focus. That stuff has come out into the open.
Last month, just days after Cricket Canada elected a new board, the ICC froze the national body's funding.
It's a massive black mark that you're being told you cannot run cricket in your country anymore. That takes away your funding primarily, so it becomes very difficult for the board to function.
The ICC will now manage funding for Canada's national teams, which will continue playing. Cricket Canada is promising to continue running development programs, but some worry about the impact of the suspension.
There's some amazing cricketers here in Canada that deserve better.
Derek Pereira is a former national team member who trains young players.
Many of them have been training for 8-9 years to get to this standard. And just to hear in the news that your board has been suspended, it does give them some insecurity.
In a statement, Cricket Canada says the new leadership has created an independent committee to address the ICC's concerns. The ICC says it will give Cricket Canada conditions to get reinstated, but so far, no timeline has been announced. Stephen D'Souza, CBC News, Toronto.
A community plagued by poor cell service is finally getting a new tower to expand coverage. It's been a problem people in St. Laurent have complained about for years. It's caught the attention of one cell phone provider now. Bell Canada tells CBC News the project is underway. It says the company is working to meet higher demand for connectivity in urban and rural areas. The Reeve says the patchy service has impacted emergency services.
A lot of people are going to be happy. There's certain spots, if you're coming up north from Winnipeg, everybody knows once you hit Lake Francis, if you're on your cell phone, you tell people, I have to go now because the call is going to drop, and we'll call back in about 10 kilometers or so.
Weather has delayed construction. The project is now expected to be completed sometime this summer. The family of former NHL star Claude Lemieux say they will donate his brain to research. Lemieux died by suicide last week, and as Alexander Silberman explains, his death has reignited the conversation about the risk of brain injury in sports.
Claude Lemieux, basking in the glory he earned as a revered and tenacious hockey star, only 4 days later, found dead by suicide at age 60.
The whole nation is probably conversing about this.
Lemieux's death leaves the hockey community saddened and stunned and is sparking reflection on the hidden struggles many athletes may face.
Even though things are better, there is still quite a bit of stigma, and nobody wants to get judged.
Lemieux's death is also restarting conversations about the physical toll of the sport. The fierce competitor was known for his aggressive, hard-hitting style. Lemieux's family is now donating his brain to a research center at Boston University, where it will be studied for chronic traumatic encephalopathy, or CTE. The brain disease is caused by repeated blows to the head and can only be diagnosed after death. Symptoms include memory loss and depression.
It's a rather tragic condition.
Experts say hockey leagues need to take action to reduce concussions, like finding ways to decrease hits to the head.
Prevention has to be practiced more diligently in this national game.
In a statement, Lemieux's family stressed that no conclusions should be made at this time. This decision is a gift to science, to athletes, and to future generations of families seeking answers, they wrote. The donation comes in the wake of a notable diagnosis. Former Bruins enforcer Lyndon Byers, who died last July at 61, was found to have had advanced CTE. The hockey world urging better support for athletes during and after their careers, and calling for players to speak up. Alexander Silberman, CBC News, Montreal.
Thousands of people got to try an array of Asian cuisines at an annual festival this past weekend. We'll take you there after the break. Thousands of people came to downtown Winnipeg over the weekend to experience Asian food, musical performances, and culture at a two-day festival. CBC's Gavin Axelrod takes us there.
Lots of food and musical performances. This is the Taste of Asia Festival, held over the weekend in downtown Winnipeg. Lourdes Federis is the founder of the celebration, which coincided with the end of Asian Heritage Month.
Just have that opportunity to see each other, talk to each other, exchange stories, exchange recipes, and that just, and the celebration itself, just being able to see each other and exchange your culture.
People were getting a taste of Kits Gardos's recipes on Sunday. He was cooking up Filipino street food.
Feels like we're adding into the culture of Winnipeg itself. As of the moment, you know, a lot of the food here is similar, but every new business adds a little something different.
The crowd and representation from across Asia was a surprise for some attendees.
I didn't expect that Winnipeg has those kind of big festival, so I really like it because it's be held in the center of Winnipeg. I didn't expect that downtown has those kind of good festival. I really like it.
They also hope people will learn something about the cultures they're experiencing and have a better understanding of different Asian communities.
We get here, we can know each other more, so we can take our stereotype, like maybe the South Korea only have the K-pop. It's not true. South Korea also have so many delicious food. Like the China, usually feel Chinese serious, but it's not. I'm funny.
This was the fourth time the festival has been held. Organizers estimate anywhere from 18 to 20,000 people came to Memorial Park over the weekend. Gavin Axelrod, CBC News, Winnipeg.
All right, well, it was a beautiful day for that festival. It's such delicious looking food. Another gorgeous day today too, but will it all last? Let's bring in Colette for the latest. Colette.
Thanks, Brittany. Yeah, just having a look at the heat. I know, I mean, still relatively warm for the southern part of the province, but the more extreme heat with the warnings still in play a little further north. Flin Flon, Thompson, 31 degrees. Towards Barons River, Swan River, you know, some of that warmth is staying there, although I do think you'll get a bit of relief there into tomorrow. And we've got some changes coming our way too in terms of some of the wet weather. A little bit we've got today and this evening, but more into tomorrow with the risk of it being some of the storms on the stronger side. So I'll take you through that. You got to see this jet stream. I mean, it is a wild ride, that ridge so far to the north and well set up here, but it's also what's pulling all that moisture into Alberta and some of the heavier rains. They're not done yet. This is nearly stationary and will continue to give rain to some of these areas into tomorrow and even towards midweek. Some active weather I want you to be aware of pushing towards Brandon. This is tomorrow morning, okay? So early in the day with the risk of some stronger storms. And then by early afternoon, it moves towards Dauphin. You want to be aware of what's happening in case there are some warnings or at least watches perhaps that become warnings that get issued. And then this is into the early evening hours, but I would expect after about 5 p.m. I would be alert through Winnipeg, through the Red River Valley as some of those storms start to press in too. And that heat kind of fuels this as well. And we've got that heat back tomorrow up towards, you know, the 30s and not just in through the 20s. Some active weather into Wednesday as well, although some of the energy is a little further north. Winds tomorrow pick up a little bit again, kind of like today, into the afternoon hours and get a little bit breezier. But overall, when we're looking at the temperatures through the overnight and those early morning hours, that's when you can get out there and be more comfortable in some of these areas where we have the extreme heat. You'll notice that it calms down a little bit into tomorrow. Thompson still upper 20s, but maybe not into the low 30s. However, that heat is transferred and helping to energize these storms further south again, and the 30s start showing up on our board as well. Your dog walking forecast, this is a special one. I mean, they're all special, of course, but that's because Jelly Roll and Sue's, thank you to you, you because you're fostering Jelly Roll and have been for 6 months now, and he's almost available for adoption, folks. Look at that face. And that name, of course. And he's with Grateful Friends Animal Rescue. And so that would be where you'd want to inquire if you're interested. And a quick look at your dog walking forecast there for tomorrow. Watch the heat later in the afternoon.
All right, thanks, Colette. And Jelly Roll up for adoption. Well, wet, cool conditions have now shifted to that hot, dry weather we've been seeing over the last few days. And that's bad news when it comes to battling those pesky mosquitoes. CBC's Jim Agapito spoke with the biology professor who studies mosquitoes and new ways to control them. He also got the answers to some of your most commonly asked questions.
What if Manitoba could shrink its mosquito population by releasing even more mosquitoes? We're at the University of Manitoba to speak to an expert who thinks that might be the key.
So what we're doing is looking at technologies to control mosquitoes using something other than conventional pesticides. As well as that, we're also working on a sterilization program. So this is a little mosquito cage. It's just a screen cage. It's got a little sleeve here that we can untie and reach in and out to either grab various things. So in here at the moment is just a little wick of sugar. So that's just a tube filled with sugar with just a little cotton wick for them to feed on, because the mosquitoes, both males and females, will happily feed on sugar. And I noticed that there are already a couple landing on me. So there are a few hungry females in there. So in this tank of water, I put in a paper towel that had been sitting for about a month drying out. But when we pop it in the water, the eggs will start to hatch. So all those little black dots are the eggs. And so there's probably a few hundred of them there. And underneath that, there's a little piece of food, which is just some guinea pig or rabbit chow that we pop in there. And what that will be is a substrate for bacteria. And they will then graze on the bacteria. They're not going to actually eat the fibrous material, but they will eat the bacteria that's on that. Over here, if you look here, now these are several days older. And now you can see there are what we call probably third instar larvae. They are actually breathing through little siphons out their back end, like little snorkels. And then the cool thing is that when they molt into the next stage, when they get to fourth instar, they're ready to molt into a pupa. And unlike a caterpillar pupa that sits stationary, these pupae are in water. And they have predators, so they have to be able to escape. So they actually have eyes and they can move around.
Okay, Brittany, I gotta ask, is there a burning question you'd want to ask a mosquito expert about mosquitoes?
Well, I feel like they are more attracted to a certain blood type, so I was wondering if that was truth or myth or just something that's made up.
Everybody's got kind of a unique odor signature, and certain signatures are more attractive to certain species. So you may find in one place you're bitten all the time, but if you move to another place, you may not be as attractive any longer because you don't smell right. But the mosquitoes are picking up these odor cues, and they're going for the ones that smell the best to them.
Do they carry a bad pathological diseases right now, or is that something I should not be concerned about?
Well, here in Manitoba, probably the short answer is no, not really. The incidence of these diseases here in Manitoba is extremely low. So there's one primary disease vector that we worry about more in the city of Winnipeg itself, and that's Culex tarsalis. So that's a Manitoban species that can transmit West Nile virus. And now West Nile virus is endemic here. If you get a mosquito bite, the likelihood of you being bitten by Culex tarsalis is also low, but the chance of it also being infective is also low. And then the good news is that if you are infected with this virus, only about 1 to 2% of individuals will suffer a serious disease. Most will be asymptomatic. 80% or more will be showing no symptoms. 20% might show some illness, like a little bit of a fever, and a small fraction of those people will maybe succumb to something more serious and need to be hospitalized.
Are they going to be bad this year?
And what you have to worry about is periods of rain followed by heat. So, because what happens is with rain here in Manitoba is it sits on the ground because we have a nice rich clay soil that doesn't let it drain quickly. So we have a lot of standing bodies of water that don't move much, and there are a lot of mosquitoes that love non-moving water. And so they will start to lay their eggs in there, and if there's a heat wave, they develop faster. So when we get a wet, soggy spring followed by some nice warm days, that will accelerate the development, and then you're going to have a wave of mosquitoes.
So if we get rid of mosquitoes, what happens to the other insects that, use it as their food in the ecosystem?
But if we were to eliminate all mosquitoes, then you're disrupting the aquatic ecosystem, because there are a lot of things that eat the larvae in the water. And then there are a variety of insects that are eating the adults. So eliminating a species entirely is an issue you need to consider carefully. My technology would never eliminate. It would just reduce the population in the area you're trying to control.
Still ahead, the motorcycle ride for dad hit the streets this weekend. We'll have more on that when we come back. Plus, Colette is back with a last check on your forecast. Stay with us. More than 1,500 engines revved to raise awareness about prostate cancer. Saturday was the 18th annual Ride for Dad. Ed Johnner was diagnosed 19 years ago with kidney and prostate cancer. Both were detected and quickly treated. Now he spreads the message about the prevalence of prostate cancer.
Think of the number of men that are here today. 1 in 9 of those guys is going to get it. It's estimated that 1.2 million Canadian men have prostate cancer. 80% of them don't know it. But further to that, 90% of the cases that are detected early are treated successfully.
This year's ride raised more than $500,000 with more than $6 million raised since it began. All proceeds stay in Manitoba for cancer research and education.
Well, here we are, the conditions again tomorrow, temperatures pushing back towards the south. We get into those 30s, and then we have a couple of days, well, not only with some wet weather, and tomorrow, by the way, that risk of severe weather, as I've been talking about, but a couple of days where temperatures are a little bit more comfortable, dropping back close to seasonal, even a little bit below. And then we go into the weekend, and lo and behold, back up towards the upper 20s or low 30s. So a little bit of a ride, if that would hold for the weekend, that'd be a nice place for it, right? But do be cautious over these next 24 hours. We've had a little bit of active weather and continue to today, but more likely for tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Colette. Well, in any competition, speed and accuracy are key. And that's where the winner of a spelling bee last week absolutely nailed it. Here's your daily lift.
Our first word is Taroni.
T-O-R-O-N-E.
Enthymeme.
E-N-T-H-Y-M-E-M-E.
Iguape.
I-G-U-A-P.
Denebola.
D-N-E-B-L-A.
Faidodo.
F-A-S-D-O-D-O.
That's the winner of this year's Scripps National Spelling Bee, 14-year-old Shrey Parikh from California. He won the contest in a tiebreaker where he had to spell as many correct words as possible in just 90 seconds. He correctly spelled 32 words out of 34 attempts. Parikh is taking home a $50,000 prize to go along with that trophy. My goodness, that is impressive. I don't even know if I could spell my own name that quickly. Good on him. Stay safe, stay cool, and stay hydrated. We will see you back here tomorrow.